Mansfield today, nice to have you with us, and we go into your garden. What are we on about today, Mel Walker?
Well, we're going into the Garden of Paradise. That's why I'm enjoying this shirt so much.
You're getting all sensual here.
Well, it's Sunday. We've got to have something happening, you know. I'm going to be spending probably the rest of the day floating around in my friend's pool. Do you have a pool?
Yes.
Do you spend a lot of time in it?
Coming up to this time of the year, yeah, absolutely.
Is it a blue pool?
Yes.
Is it a saline pool or a chlorinated?
It's chlorinated.
Okay. Have you ever wanted to change it into something natural?
I had a saline pool before at my previous home, and I enjoyed it. The only problem was, to me, that it irritated my eyes.
Yeah. Okay, everything irritates my eyes. So the best thing to do is to actually have a pool which is completely clean water. So I've asked somebody to come and join us here today to tell us about wetland pools and how you can convert a pool into a wetland pool, which is basically a swimming pond. So coming and joining us, we have Anthony Fulbrick from Wetland Pools. And how are you doing today, Anthony?
I'm very good, thank you.
Okay, this fascinates me, Anthony. How do you create a wetland pool?
Well, there's many ways of creating a wetland pool. Fundamentally, it's about having a good wetland. So what you're trying to do is you're emulating a natural water system. So you have a wetland system whereby you have a large biological filter that breaks down anything biological in the water. And then you have plants that absorb the nutrients from the water. So all you're left with is nice, clean, clear water.
And
really all about water quality.
How easy is it, sorry, how easy is it to actually convert like Jeremy's pool into a wetland pool where you don't have to use chemicals and all of that stuff?
It's not too tricky. It takes us about a month usually. Costs a bit of money. And all you really do is you want to divide up the pool area. So we usually want it about half-half. So you leave half of the area for swimming, which for a lot of people who've got very big pools, this is a good thing. You leave half the area for swimming, and then of the remaining area, you have 2/3 which you turn into a wetland, and 1/3 you leave as the water lily area.
It sounds absolutely fascinating to me because it's creating another entire biosystem in your garden.
Instead of having something which is just completely sterile with lots of chemicals being pumped into it.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, Anthony. So just take me through.
Yeah, one of the other big advantages
of how you get the water purified. But just take me through what you would need. What are you putting into this wetland?
Well, the wetland is on a fundamental level a whole lot of gravel. A very small, nice brown stone gravel. There's a pump. We use submersible pumps, which are super efficient. You don't see them, you don't hear them. And they use less energy than a conventional pool pump. The pump runs 24/7 because it's fundamentally an aerobic system. So you want oxygen in the system. And it needs oxygen 24/7. Middle of the night and middle of the day, it needs oxygen. And if it runs 24/7, the big advantage is that if a leaf lands in the pool in the middle of the night, it'll be removed. So you don't have, you don't have a buildup of leaves and debris. So, with a normal pool, you wait for everything to sink to the bottom of the pool and then you send a piece of plastic after it. Whereas with a natural pool, you tend to keep it out of the way. So you try and keep the pool as clean as possible all the time.
It's much easier. You don't actually have to sit there scrubbing. And this is one big problem. When you look at normal pools, if you aren't getting your chlorination right, then you end up getting algae on the side of the pond. Mm-hmm. So now we have a very good friend, Jane Griffith, the delicious Jane, who you've spoken to before.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And Anthony did Jane's pool and changed it completely. Now, she'd left it fallow, if you want to leave it, like with a lid on the top of it for ages, and she took it off. The sides were completely black, but the water was completely clear. And then Anthony came in and created this amazing pond. How long did it take you to do Jane's pond? Because that's quite a big one.
Sorry, I'm not hearing you very clearly.
I said, how long did it take you to do Jane Griffith's swim pond? Because it's quite a big one.
Yeah, that was, we had to build we actually built a swimming pool within her existing pool. I think that took us about a month and a half. It was most of the time was spent in actually building the existing pond, the swimming area.
Anthony, just as a by the by to this conversation, have you noticed that once you've done one of these jobs that you start attracting more bird life into gardens as well as a result of the wetland aspect?
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the key reasons why a lot of people want a natural pool, is because the swimming pool, they look at it most of the time and it's this blue object in the garden, and it's a blue object that takes up a lot of space in the garden. Whereas when you convert it into a natural pool, it now becomes part of the garden. And as part of the garden, you get bees coming in, you get dragonflies coming in, you get birds coming in. We'll often put a special rock for birds, because birds, if they want to attract birds to your garden, what you really want is a nice island rock with a little bit of fresh water on it, because the birds will come and they'll land on there and they feel safe because it's an island, cats can't get them, and then they can bath in it. And so, for example, in winter at my pool here at my house, there's usually about a queue of about 20 to 30 birds every day waiting for their turn at the water bath. So yeah, it's a massively popular wildlife thing. You also get, there are usually frogs almost everywhere, and you get a few frogs that arrive, and you have the odd, I've got some common river frogs croaking away in the background now. Well, not now, but during the evenings. So yeah, it becomes a massive magnet for wildlife in your garden.
But that is one of the things with the demise of so many wetlands in South Africa. I think they're one of the quickest shrinking habitats going at the moment. And they're in a lot of trouble. So if people create wetlands where they can, rather than having a sterile environment, I mean, that's going to do the environment a lot better in the long run, wherever we are.
Yeah, there's a supply of water as well. I mean, this is the point about these pools, is that the water is fresh, clean water, not only for us, but for animals as well. So, I mean, right now there's water issues in Johannesburg. People who've got natural pools know that if they run out of water, there's drinking water outside. Whereas if you've got a saltwater pool or a chlorinated pool, you know that water is not drinkable. So, yeah, the quality of the water is really what it's all about.
You see.
And I suppose with water being as clean as that and not having chemicals in it, it must be better for people who have, like I do, problems with their eyes in water. A lot of females would be happier with that from a hair point of view, and also skin, and people who suffer from psoriasis and that sort of thing. I suppose it would be ideal for that sort of circumstance.
Absolutely. And if you swim in a natural pool, you come out of the pool and you're cleaner. Your skin feels better than when you come out of a shower. Because in a shower, you're being sprayed with chlorine still, whereas actually out of a natural pool, your skin is clean and clear. Another element of this is that most conventional swimming pools have a slab of paving all the way around it. So as a result, the pool itself is a very large object in the garden, even though the water body is a little bit smaller than the whole object. And the reason for that paving is that if any of the water splashed out, it would kill any plants in that area. And so the other big advantage with the natural pool is you can remove all that paving and plant right up to the edge of the pool. So your pool effectively shrinks as an object in the garden as well, which from a landscaping point of view is a big plus usually for people.
I think it's definitely the way to go if I have a swimming pool.
Absolutely. Anthony, if anybody is wanting to take this conversation further, is there a website you can refer them to?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can have a look at mine. It's www.wetlandpools.co.za. I think we've got pictures of about 80 or 90 pools that we've done up there. We've probably done about 200 pools by now in South Africa. So, in terms of wetlands, we're creating little bits of wetland all over the country.
That sounds wonderful.
Well, I mean, we're in a water-stressed country, we should be trying to resolve and keep our water resources actually clearer, better, bigger.
Cleaner. And also, you think about the amount of water that we're losing because of the beautiful sunny conditions that we have.
Yeah.
The amount of water we're losing, and by doing this, you're shrinking the amount of water that you're actually swimming in. So your water loss is a hell of a lot less than that. Anthony, thank you very much for taking time out to join us on Mansfield today. It's been fascinating talking to you, and I will certainly go and look at that website, www.wetland
Wetlandpools.co.za. Thank you very much, Anthony. And of course, for me, it's an absolute no-brainer. If I had a pool, it would be a swim pond in 2 seconds flat.
No, it takes about a month. Thank you, Mel. Good chat to you
Thanks,
again.
Jeff.
Bye-bye. And bye-bye to you as well.